up to go gear to gear.
If it's combat that you want, it's combat you will get.
Armoureddon, Kraken, Metalmorphis, Skewer Rat. A battle royale fought with strength, speed, and pure robotic power.
But it doesn't stop there. Oh no.
Steel yourself from mechanical mayhem. Robotica, an all-new episode Wednesday at 8, only on TLC.
Get ready!
Let's do it! And salutations, Robotica heads. I'm Ahmed Zappa, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the one, the only, the fabulous Tanya Memi.
Why, thank you very much, Ahmed. You know, Ahmed, you can be pretty fabulous yourself.
I know. It's what I do. And for those of you following along in your hymnals, the only way to win Robotica is to beat these 3 events. You'll have to smash through the Gauntlet, a racetrack with attitude, tame the mighty Labyrinth, an obstacle course that eats robots for breakfast, and survive the fight to the finish. A no-holds-barred street fight where anything goes.
Let's quit with the talk and make with the robots.
Now, entering the arena, say hello to 210 pounds of heavy metal. A run-in with him spells certain doom. It's Armourgeddon. Hidden under that wedge-shaped shell, Armourgeddon sports a vacuum impeller that jets air at 170 cubic feet per minute, creating an extra 100 pounds of perceived weight. And come eye to eye with this fiend, you'll get pounded by a piston packing 2,000 PSI of punch.
And Armourgeddon's creator is Jason Giddings.
Armourgeddon's gonna get bought.
When aerospace engineer Jason Giddings was hired at Davis Tool near Portland, Oregon, his first project was engineering a custom-designed racing plane.
This is Thunder Mustang. I was an engineer on the project for 2 years.
And when Jason craved an earthbound challenge, his computer at work was the launch pad. The result, a robot named Armourgeddon.
When I first considered being on the show, I began on a whim just designing a machine, you know, sitting down at my desk and just throwing some design ideas out.
The whim exploded into an all-consuming passion. Jason recruited co-workers at Davis to help him build the custom frame and the gears.
The sprockets were actually custom-made, laser-cut sprockets. We decided to custom make them rather than purchasing them because we can control exactly how many teeth and easily remake exactly any size we want. Do you think you could cut another one just like this one?
Sure. Jason insisted on top-grade materials, including anodized 5052 grade aircraft aluminum for the frame, and even higher-grade 6061 T1 anodized wheels.
We didn't want the rubber or the tires to be compressible like pneumatic tires, so we needed to use an aluminum rim.
The tread actually comes from an industrial floor mat, which Jason hopes will deliver maximum traction. To prevent Armourgeddon from being flipped, Jason designed an ingenious system with a suction fan and rubber gasket, creating an airtight vacuum underneath the bot.
When we get this thing working exactly right, there's nobody going to get under it. Anybody tries to push on it, they're going to go right up over the top of it.
Armourgeddon's power arsenal consists of 5 120-amp motors, which will push top speed to 20 miles per hour. 10 days before the competition, Armourgeddon was right at his fighting weight.
210.2 pound, boy, I'll tell you what.
And in just a few minutes, we'll discover whether Armourgeddon's got the right stuff. And his opponent, if it's combat that you want, it's combat you will get. This armored marvel has a skin that can stop a high-powered rifle round. Make room for Kraken. Four steel spikes mounted on its 24-inch pneumatic arms. Its 200-pound weight comes from its multi-layered armor plating, consisting of aluminum, Type 3 Kevlar, and titanium, a combo featured in military tank armor.
And Kraken was designed by Koss.
It's a titanium Kevlar aluminum composite. It's 2 8-inch steel spikes. It's a robot named Kraken.
It has the power to intimidate and can maneuver like a bird. No, it's not this F-14 fighter jet. It's Kraken, the Kevlar-coated robot. Eric Koss is a Navy reconnaissance instructor who has used his expertise in laser targeting to design a robot he says is right on structurally.
The armor is going to be impenetrable. The design we're using for the top up here, using Kevlar, is Type 3 out of a sniper blanket, sandwiched between two pieces of titanium. The Type 3 Kevlar itself can withstand a 762 rifle.
Team Triborg, including Eric's wife, Joyce, and his friend, Chris Henson, are counting on their F-14-inspired intake shafts to cool their heat-sensitive 4QD speed controllers.
Keeping these things as cool is critical. We've burned probably 6 sets, but not cooling.
Cooling may also be an issue for the battery packs. During a dynamometer test that's usually run on cars to measure horsepower and torque, the 27-cell NiCads had a hard time holding up. But during the test, Kraken topped out at 75 miles per hour, and that's pulling 1,500 pounds. After he was satisfied with Kraken's performance, Eric decided it needed a little personality. So an art class at Lafayette Middle School made it look like a sea monster. With freshly decorated armor protecting his deadly robot, Eric has no doubts about his chances in Robotica.
The F-14 is air superiority. This is going to be ground and robot superiority.
A confident fellow, if I do say so myself. This will have him shaking in his jumpsuit, though. We call it the Gauntlet.
And here's how it works. 2 bots start here, then drive around the course in opposite directions. Along the way, they must smash through 4 increasingly difficult walls made of wood, cans, bricks, and finally, cement blocks. 10 points are awarded for each obstacle cleared.
But it doesn't stop there. Oh, no.
They got to get past each other, then travel down the opposite side of the track, heading back to the starting line. They score 5 points for each rubble pile pass. The first bot to make it up the ramp to the center arena gets 10 points. The second gets 5. Break all the glass, and the final wall slides down, bust through it, and 15 points are yours.
Now, before we turn these techno troublemakers loose, let's go down to our science correspondent, Dan Danknick, and get a better idea of what they're facing.
Amit, you can have the greatest robot in the world, but if you don't know how to drive it, you won't win Robotica. The Gauntlet really emphasizes that in the center arena. Drivers can't expect to blow through the sheets of glass at high speeds, because one false move will send them right over the edge. Once they're in the pit, there's no getting out. Also, I expect to see some great combat on the platform as bots battle it out for that final pane of glass. Back to you.
Thanks, Dan. For this competition, Armourgeddon, driven by Jason Giddings, will be crashing up the left side of the track, and Eric Koss's bot Kraken will be cracking up the right. The Gauntlet is ready for action. Hope our robots are. Let's fight.
Robots ready.
We are underway. There goes Kraken through 2 obstacles and into the far rail. Full force. Armourgeddon on the other side takes out the paint can. He is under control as he makes his way around the first turn. Here's the Armourgeddon can. Bam! Through the bricks. No trouble so far. Kraken is still sitting there. Looks like he might be stuck in the rail. Eric Koss and his team are working to get him free.
Amit, Kraken is the perfect height to get wedged into that rail, but I think he's also stuck on a paint can.
Armourgeddon takes a sweet time through the blocks. Look at that. Not even disturbing the paint can on his head. He's halfway around the track. Kraken just surrounded by debris. Here comes Armourgeddon. He's stealing walls now through the cement blocks. Here come the bricks. And there's Kraken. You can see that paint can underneath him. Good call, Dan. And now Armourgeddon goes after him, bashing him in the side. Oh, this is unfair. Is he going after him again? He doesn't seem in any hurry here.
I don't know if this is a malicious attack, Amit. A good bump to Kraken's rear panel might knock him loose.
Armourgeddon showing a little bit of sportsmanship, perhaps. I kind of like that. Now he heads through the paint can debris. He's closing in on the starting area, and he's running away with this event. Oh, he's on the platform. It's showtime, baby. Chopping down the forest of glass. Oh, he smacks into that pillar. That's got to hurt.
Jason Giddings has to be careful here, Amit. If it weren't for that pillar, he'd be off the edge right now. He has this event won, but he needs those last 15 points here because the Labyrinth is coming up, and fortunes can change very quickly.
Jason working those controls. You're right, Dan. He's taking no chances. Looks like he's got 5 panes to go.
Amit, check out this long-range strategy. Kraken stops struggling to avoid burning out his drive motors.
And now Armourgeddon, 1 pane between him and Gauntlet glory. There he goes. Here comes a bonus pain. The 15 points are his for the taking. Voila. He's in position. And there it is. Armourgeddon is the victor. Jason Giddings and his team. High fives all around. What a performance.
Beautiful. Kraken's unfortunate configuration cost him his chance here, and Armourgeddon ran a flawless race to secure a big win.
And Armourgeddon takes it. It's Armourgeddon with 95 points over Kraken with 20. Let's go down to 10.
All right, here we have Jason Giddings and his team. Now, Armourgeddon, what a great bot. It looked like you just plowed through the entire gauntlet.
You know, at first we went through some prelim stuff and we had some trouble with bricks, and we made some last-minute changes. We put some plates on the front of the robot to make it actually push instead of drive over some of the stuff in the way.
Now, early on in this round of competition, your opponent was hung up. Did that change your approach?
Well, you know, these guys worked so hard, and we wanted to have them have at least a fair chance, and they were straddled on some paint cans, so I thought, you know, I'll give them a little bit of a push and help them out a little bit, but I couldn't get them unhung, so we just went ahead and finished it up.
Okay, well, good job. Great design.
Thank you.
Love Armourgeddon. All right!
Coming up, Skewer Rat and Metalmorphis take on the Gauntlet. After that, 4 bots will enter, but only 2 will emerge. The Labyrinth unleashes her claws when we come back. Robotica, all the cool kids are doing it. Come on. Welcome back to Robotica. Kraken tried to take a bite out of the Gauntlet, but the Gauntlet bit back, giving Armourgeddon just the chance he needed to win. But now, things are gonna get wild. Let's meet our next set of competitors. Now, entering the arena, get a good look, because you may not recognize them later. Built to switch from 4x4 to a lowrider, it's the ultra-changeable Metalmorphis. Sporting 12 wheels, Metalmorphis can raise its ground clearance from 2 inches to 6. And when it breaks out those spinning drums of doom, 3,500 RPMs of spinning steel will morph its competitors into mush.
Metalmorphis is the brainchild of Dan Fetterly.
Metalmorphis is a multi-configurable robot designed to be optimized for each one of the events in Robotica. Therefore, we're going to dominate. We're going to make you eat aluminum dust.
It's not your typical robot. And Dan Fetterly is not your typical builder.
What are you looking at?
He makes remote-controlled moving targets used to train cops. These tough machines are made for high-risk situations, just like Dan, who's a former Green Beret.
I started out as a Special Forces engineer, which is primarily a demolitions and explosives expert. I got cross-trained in weapons.
No stranger to combat, Dan is now gearing up for a different kind of battle. He created Metalmorphis with a little help from his engineer partner, Les.
He's the brains of this unit, and I'm the brawn of the unit. I like the things that go fast and crash, and he likes to make them so that they actually work.
Their design is the product of years of real-world experience, so they think they've got an edge when it comes to reliability. But what really makes this robot unique is its modular power system.
We've got 3 separate systems that can all operate independent of each other. They're not interdependent on one another to function. If one of them has a catastrophic failure, the other 2 can take over.
The fail-safe power system drives the motors, which run at 200 RPM or 7 miles an hour. But Dan didn't build it for speed, he built it for control.
If you get a vehicle that goes too fast, you're not going to be able to control it essentially or very effectively in confined spaces.
And Dan is the man in control. With 6 years of robotic driving experience, he's probably logged more stick time than any of his competitors. But relying on what is tried and true, Les and Dan plan to take their place in the winner's circle. At least they're going to take a shot at it. And his opponent, he's one hungry-looking robot looking for a meal, and he stabs his food with a high-carbon tool steel ramming arm. Clear the floor for Skewer Rat. Weighing in at 210 pounds, Skewer Rat is running 2 motors per side through warm gear reduction to the drive shafts. Its lifting arm has a 300-pound capacity, but if it can't get under you, it will skewer right through you with its carbon tool steel tip.
And the man doing all that skewering is Kinsey Fobes.
We have a high-carbon steel, armor-piercing blade that's going to skewer the competition.
Kinsey Fobes teaches computer science at Renton Technical College in Washington State. Kinsey is a robot designer and an enthusiastic teacher.
Continue on. 1 + 0 is 1, 0, 1, 0, 1.
But while binomial math may not be the most exciting class for students, working in the robotics lab always holds their attention. Here the students learn the basics of automation. Across campus, Kinsey's brother Mickey Fobes teaches automotive technology. He's the builder half of this competitive family.
Mom always liked me best, so. That's what she said. I'm the smarter, better looking one. More conceited. I'm the one smarter. I'm the one that has hair. Yeah, but you don't have the gray matter to go with it, so. Well, the only thing gray about you is what you got left of your hair. That's because I don't color my hair like you do.
When they teamed up to build a robot, they relied on each other's strengths.
I do all the work, he takes all the credit.
The product of said collaboration is the sleek Skewer Rat.
We like to win. We love to win.
And their secret for winning? Redundancy. Controlling power to Skewer Rat's motors is handled by multiple field effect transistors, which can operate up to 210 amps. If that control system fails, 12-volt automotive start relays make sure power still gets to the wheels. The 24-volt wheelchair motors are backed up by extra motors in case of failure.
We cannot have this robot fail in competition. If you fail in competition, you're going to lose.
The robot's weapon is a lethally sharp point at the end of a lifting arm. So dangerous, no one's allowed near it.
This thing is going to be sharpened even beyond what it is now. That is a sharp point that will pierce a lot of stuff.
So is there any weak point on this robot?
It's going to be driving skill, and I'm afraid that my brother just isn't going to be up for the task. And even if I'm not up to the task, I'm still a lot better than you are, so either way, we win.
You've seen it before, get ready to see it again. It's the Gauntlet, and it gives insurance agents nightmares. 10 points per wall knocked down, 5 per rubble pile navigated, 10 for the first guy up the ramp, and 5 for the follower. And finally, 15 points goes to the guy that gives the last piece of glass the what for. Got it? Good. Kinsey Fobes' Skewer Rat will be racing up the left side of the track, while Dan Fetterly's Metalmorphis will be tearing up the right. Battle stations, everyone, it's Gauntlet time.
Robots ready.
And here we go. Metalmorphis slowly up the line. He has that gigantic undercarriage attachment, which should help him with ground clearance, but in my estimation, he seems to be having a little problem with the walls of cans. Skewer Rat has no can trouble. He pushes them into the corner as he works around the first turn. Here he goes. Through the bricks and into the blocks, carrying all sorts of debris. Metalmorphis is just spinning his tires. He is stuck. Skewer Rat backing up. Got to get through those blocks. He charges. That's tough. Can't get through.
Amit, without a plow, Skewer Rat has no way to push debris aside. He just piles it up in front of him and on top of him.
Look at that. Skewer Rat spike jammed into the floorboard. Nice. And now Metalmorphis is free. What a turn of events. He's heading around the first turn, still fighting with the cans. Good shot from the Metalmorphis camp through the bricks. Here comes the blocks. And Metalmorphis has reached the halfway point. Skewer Rat looks like that spike is free, but he's not moving. He's just blocking the lane, and the Fobes brothers aren't even trying. What gives, Dan?
Well, it looks like some sort of electrical problem, Amit. They probably drained their batteries or blew a controller, working themselves free from the floor.
So much for that redundancy system.
You got that right.
Metalmorphis isn't sure what's to be done here. This track ain't big enough for the two of them. Looks like he'll just use the soft touch. He's just turning them sideways. That's all he's doing. That's going to help him all of none.
Since there's nothing else he can do, Skewer Rat has to hope his dead weight will stop Metalmorphis.
But here comes Metalmorphis getting nasty. Dan Fetterly only knows one way out of this, and that's bashing right through. Another hard hit into Skewer Rat's side. Fobes brothers are disgusted, but all they can do is watch. Another hard hit, Skewer Rat into the corner. Yes! Metalmorphis is through. He's heading down the last stretch, Dan.
He's got more paint cans to deal with, Amit. These are what slowed him up earlier. Let's see if that undercarriage gets caught again.
He's having a little trouble, but he fights over it. He's back at the starting line. Yeah, baby.
Amit, you can see they designed that undercarriage to easily go up the ramp.
And here he goes, Metalmorphis through the forest of glass. Oh my, what a naughty mess. He's carrying a couple of those naughty paint cans with him. I guess he wants a souvenir, apparently. Back across the middle, he's got that wide body. He should be able to clear these two at a time. Look at that. Nice, just a few paints left. No pressure from Skewer Rat, but time is running out.
This course has claimed 2 victims today. One of them a mechanical problem and the other an electrical problem.
Dan Fetterly has to hurry. He lost a lot of time pushing Skewer Rat aside. And there goes the last piece. The bonus paint is being dropped. Oh, man, the buzzer sounds. He got gypped. Metalmorphis will be denied the final points. He had some problems earlier on the paint cans. He got stuck. He's going to do it anyway. What a sport. Metalmorphis takes a bow with a big victory.
Metalmorphis was designed for agility, but when push came to shove, he proved he also had enough power to prevail.
And Metalmorphis takes it. Here are the scores. It's Metalmorphis 70 points over Skewer Rat with 30. Tanya's down with Dan Fetterly right now. Tanya?
Hey everyone, here we have Dan Fetterly with Metalmorphis and his team. So Dan, tell us exactly what your strategy was going into the gauntlet.
Well, I left that to my strategist to kind of coach me through that. So we actually walked the course, looked at the obstacles. Apparently we didn't measure the obstacles because a few of the paint cans decided they were going to travel with us. And we decided to use power where necessary and skill and driving where appropriate.
All right, well, thank you very much. That was a great round of competition, and good luck going into the Labyrinth. Okay.
So with the gauntlet out of the way, the scores look like this. It's Armourgeddon leading Kraken 95-20, while Metalmorphis leads Skewer Rat 70-30. Don't go anywhere because when Robotica comes back, it's bringing the Labyrinth, and you know what that means. What's that? You don't? Well, then you'll just have to stick around and find out, won't you? Robotica, it's like a cult, only not. Coming up, 4 robots put it all on the line for a chance at glory. The Labyrinth will decide who is worthy. And later, to get to the finals, you've got to survive the fight to the finish. Robotica takes the gloves off when we come back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Robotica. It's Robotica o'clock. Do you know where your robot is? If it ain't here, then who cares?
Let's take a look at the scores. It's Metalmorphis leading Skewer Rat 70-30, while Armourgeddon leads Kraken 95-20. But with one event to go, it's still anyone's guess.
There's only one thing we know for sure, and that is the Labyrinth ain't getting any younger. Let's get to the robot crushing.
Patience is a virtue, my bald friend.
Whoa, I prefer follically challenged, Tanya. Thank you. Before we get to the robot crushing, let's go down to Dan Danknick in the pits.
Thanks, Amit. Let's see what's cracking with Kraken. Well, Eric, you got off to a great start out there, but what happened?
We got way too much power, way too much speed, so we're going to have to adjust our acceleration ramps down a little bit.
You're going to change some of your acceleration ramps, is what you're saying. Now, these are golf cart controllers here that modulate the power to your motors, and they have individual controls for how fast they take off and how fast they slow down. You're going to tweak those and dial them in for...
That's right, try to even out our power because we got a lot of power starting off and we don't have so much power slowing us down.
Great, so you think that'll be a great advantage to you in the next event?
Definitely, give us much more control.
Perfect, perfect. All right, well, good luck on that. Let's go over here, see what's going on. Guys, great looking robot. You've got a motor on each wheel. What's the idea here?
Well, we wanted a lot of power. We started off with a little bit different design. We had car starter motors on here, and we changed to these motors. These are a little bit more reliable, and they're reversible, which car starter motors aren't.
From my experience, a little bit of an impediment in front of your robot combined with some sober driving, which you exhibited, made all the difference for you out there in the world.
I want you to know that was my first time driving.
Well, that was excellent. That's the story from the pits, Amit. Back to you.
Thanks, Dan. It's Labyrinth time, and it don't get better than this. And here's how it works. Our robots begin their trial in this circle. When the game begins, it rotates, creating openings here and here. Drive through those, and you're on your way. But on your way to what, you're probably asking? Good question, I reply. 6 panes of glass must be broken, but to break the glass, you must beat the challenge guarding it. This 253-pound box and these stabbing spikes will keep you from your prize. Get past these, and 1-5 marks the spot. At the 20-point level, we've got this pneumatic flip ramp and this wobbly suspension bridge. Beat these before they beat you, and those 20 are yours to take home. And at the 25-point level, these steel cargo rollers and this sand trap stand in your way. If you can get past these, you're a better bot than I. Finally, once all 6 panes are broken, these gates will unlock. 30 points goes to the bot that breaks this one, and he'll also end the game. And just to make things a little more interesting, they won't be alone in there. They've got some company in the form of our Robotica rat.
These robotic rodents carry buzzsaws powerful enough to cut the wheels right out from under our competitors. And just in case you're worried about getting hit by flying debris, we've got you covered by these safety walls. They're a little added insurance. Let's go down to Dan on the floor.
Tanya, the one obstacle in the labyrinth that our competitors never considered is the guardrail. Kraken's team couldn't have known when they designed their bot that it was the perfect height and shape to get wedged in between the rails, as it did during the Gauntlet. Kraken's a very fast robot, but his driver will have to keep him under control to upset Armourgeddon in this event. Since Armourgeddon will steadily rack up points if given the chance, Kraken will need to steal the big points early. Back to you.
Merci, Dan. Here's Eric Koss's Kraken and Jason Giddings Armourgeddon driving onto the turntable. Drivers check, robots check, Labyrinth check. The game is on. Okay, let's go.
Robots ready.
And the Labyrinth is underway. Turntable moving. Armourgeddon and Kraken looking for an exit. And it's Kraken out first. It looks like he's heading for the spikes. He's over the speed bumps. No problem. Lines it up. Oh! Misses the glass. Backs up. 15 points are his. Oh, but he's done it again. Oh, Kraken is stuck in the rail. That nose has wedged right in between the bars. Team Triborg not sure what to do here.
This is exactly what I was talking about, Amit. They should have dialed back their speed even more.
Armourgeddon, meanwhile, he's right at the exit as the rats come out, and they are hungry. He's through the swinging doors, and the red rat comes right after Armourgeddon. He's turning now, looks like he's going to try to get to the box, but that red rat is not going to make it easy for him, cutting him off. Armourgeddon repositions himself, and right into the rails. Man, is he working for those 15 points. Armourgeddon's got the box moving now. That red rat is still getting in the way. Armourgeddon just pounding at the box. He's almost cleared it. Another hit, and the box is out of the way. Armourgeddon lining up the glass. 15 points. Nice. And Kraken is free now. He's trying to time his way back across the spikes. Here he goes. Getting caught up a little. And you can see Armourgeddon on the other side of the rail just sitting there. Kraken working over the speed bumps. Has Armourgeddon broken down?
No, Amit. He's just stuck on one of those speed bumps. That low ground clearance is coming back to haunt him.
Kraken now lining up for the suspension bridge. He is on the bridge. Pops a little wheelie and can't break the glass. Nice. 20 points are his.
Amit, that flimsy glass breaker is a bad design. He needs speed to make it work, and that caused him to get stuck in the rails.
Armourgeddon on the move now. And stuck again. He didn't clear the jump. Kraken needs to take advantage of this time here. He has big points to make up. There's 3 obstacles left plus the bonus pane. Which one is he going to go for next, I wonder? Uh-oh. The rats have gotten involved and have knocked Armourgeddon free. Jason Giddings, a lucky break. He's working those controls, but Armourgeddon's not moving. Here comes Kraken, a couple big point obstacles nearby. He's avoiding the sand and turning toward the flip ramp. Red Rat's trying to get into the action. Oh, he jumps the ramp in style.
He needs to be careful, Amit. He should probably go in backwards to avoid problems.
Well, he's not listening to you, Dan, but it worked anyway. 20 points for Kraken. Time now becoming a factor. Armourgeddon not moving.
Amit, I think he burned something out fighting to get over the speed bumps in the ramp.
Kraken is back across the ramp, having to fend off the Robo-Black Rodent. Oh, there's the siren. 2 obstacles left. Does Kraken have time to even go after him, I wonder? He's heading for the exit. There's 30 points waiting there if he can get through the gate. I don't know if it'll be enough. Armourgeddon had a big lead after the Gauntlet, but he's not doing nothing right now at all. Kraken is lining up for the gate. He's in the turntable, and he goes for it up the gate. Oh, dinner! He's thrown back. Another bump, no good.
Amit, Kraken's not responding right now because his batteries are dead. You can tell because he's able to move, but he can't turn, and that takes more power than he has left.
And there's the final buzzer. Oh, a brutal Labyrinth worked both of these bots over. Ouch. Who's going to get the points to move on to the fight to the finish?
Ahmed, in a game of points, Kraken had just too much to overcome. Armourgeddon scored enough points to advance him to the fight to the finish without winning this event.
Score for the Labyrinth, it's Kraken with 55 points over Armourgeddon with 15, so Kraken wins the game, but he didn't get enough points to beat Armourgeddon's score from the Gauntlet, so Armourgeddon is moving on to the fight to the finish.
Let's go down to Tanya with the winner.
Okay, here we have Jason Giddings and his team with Armourgeddon. Now, what a great round of competition. It was challenging, right? But you're going on to the fight to the finish.
We're happy to be going on to the fight to the finish. Our bot needs some serious work. I think we'll be able to get it going, though.
Well, what happened to your robot?
Well, looking at it afterwards, it looks like all 4 chains came off. A couple tire treads came up, and they ended up smoking 2 controllers.
Okay, so you think you can pull it together for the final battle?
I'm sure we can.
You sure you can? What modifications are you going to make?
We're going to put the shell on it, so we have our vacuum.
Okay.
And
yes, your vacuum actually pulls the robot down.
it makes it heavier to give us better traction.
Right.
And it also keeps people from getting underneath
That's right, which is what you need in the next round. Very good. Congratulations. And to the fight to the finish we go. Armourgeddon.
Now with one Labyrinth out of the way, the scores look like this. Armourgeddon will be advancing to the fight to the finish with a score of 110 over Kraken and is 75. And with the Labyrinth to come, Metalmorphis leads Skewer Rat 70-30. When we come back, we'll find a match for the fight to the finish as the Labyrinth claims its last victim. You don't want to miss this. More hot robot action when we return. Coming up, Metalmorphis and Skewer Rat run the Labyrinth. Who will get spiked? Who will get tossed? Who will win? The answer to all your questions when Robotica returns. And later, who will face Armourgeddon in the fight to the finish? I already told you, all your questions will be answered when Robotica returns. Sheesh. Welcome back to Robotica. After the Gauntlet, Metalmorphis is leading Skewer Rat by 40 points, but the Labyrinth will give Skewer Rat a chance to catch up.
The winner of tonight's show will join 5 of his mechanical brethren in our Robotica finals. Well, they'll battle it out for glory and the Robotica trophy. But we're not there yet. We've still got 2 big events to go.
But now, let's go down to the pits and our science correspondent, Dan Danknick.
Thanks, Ahmed. Let's check out Skewer Rat and see what happened out there. Guys, tell us what happened.
Electronics failed.
Your electronics failed, but what part?
Just a small, we have a burned resistor right here. Should be no problem. We may have burned up a small FET or something in the back. We have plenty of spares.
Great, so for a switch on a robot, a low power component has failed on you.
Yep, yep.
Is it entirely correctable then?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we also wasted our 9-volt battery. I think I have some spares of these as well.
Well, that's excellent news. Now let's go to your competitors next door, Metalmorphis, and see what's going on here. Guys, can we pull the hood and see what forcing this robot?
Sure, if you we'll let all the gerbils out now.
It's very powerful out in the arena. Looks like you have 6
motors, 6 gear cases, triple reduction, straight cut stainless steel gears. We've tied them all together with chains so that they can share the load. So
great. Well, you know, obviously you've designed this undercarriage to be able to get across these obstacles in the Gauntlet, but it looked like you're losing some traction in the friction clutch between your wheels.
I'm going to turn that over to my engineer.
Basically, the undercarriage was indeed designed for the Gauntlet and the Labyrinth to have high ground clearance and a minimum cross section so that we could indeed, instead of pushing the obstacles out of the way, just go across them and leave them as debris in the way of our opponents.
Now, are you going to change this for the Labyrinth?
The only thing we're going to add for the Labyrinth is this puppy here to catch the high items.
Sounds great.
We have to take on.
Well, that's the story in the pits. Back to you, Ahmed.
Thanks, Dan. The name of the game is the Labyrinth, and it's 6 panes of glass guarded by 6 tough challenges. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. 15 points apiece for the box and the spikes, 20 for the bridge and the flip ramp, and 25 a pop for the sand and the steel rollers. Once all the glass is gone, it's off to this gate and an extra 30 for the guy who gets there first and breaks the glass.
Keep your eyes peeled for our Robotica rats, because if they get their saws on you, you're going to be in big trouble. Before they get here, let's go down to our Dan Danknick and see if these guys have a chance.
Guys, an unexpected benefit of Metalmorphis's undercarriage is that he can drive through the sand without worrying about kicking it up into his drivetrain. That high ground clearance combined with his power gives him the edge in the Labyrinth. This is going to be a tough event for Skewer Rat, who already had ground clearance problems in the Gauntlet. His best bet may be to disable Metalmorphis by skewering him with his razor-sharp spike. Back to you.
Thanks, Dan. Kinsey Fobes the Skewer Rat on the left, Dan Fetterly's Metalmorphis on the right. Here we go. It's bad manners to keep the Labyrinth waiting, so let's do it.
Robots ready.
And the Labyrinth begins. Skewer Rat going right after Metalmorphis. Metalmorphis backpedals and gives him the slip. He's out of the turntable. Skewer Rat obviously going for the fight strategy. Metalmorphis going for points.
And he should be able to get them, Amit. That tall undercarriage gives him enough ground clearance that he should be able to get past any obstacle out there.
And he's going right for the sand, trying to get the big points early. He's having a little bit of trouble. But he's through it. 25 points for Metalmorphis. Genius. He's heading back out, and Skewer Rat is stuck in the turntable. Looks like he's wedged in the rail. And the rats, they're hammering on him. They're knocking loose. Oh, a little brotherly love between rodents. Skewer Rat still trying to get out of the turntable now. He lines it up. And finally, out in the open, he's got that skewer sticking up, and he's heading towards Metalmorphis. Metalmorphis lines up the flip ramp. He's over it cleanly. 20 points. Nicely done. And now where's Skewer Rat go? He's heading in the other direction. Now he's floundering over the speed bumps.
He also lowered his skewer, Amit, and I think he may have just wedged himself between the speed bump and the rail.
The Fobes brothers having all sorts of problems. What is going on? Looks like they're going to rattle their way loose, but they still have no points on the board, and they've done nothing to slow down Metalmorphis. Metalmorphis is back up from the flip ramp. Now he's chasing the red rat. So sweet. Through the saloon doors, the poor rat's just trying to not get run over. Skewer Rat wasting precious time.
Amit, Skewer Rat doesn't seem to be steering right. He may have blown that resistor again, which would affect his speed controllers.
Metalmorphis is going for the box, spinning his tires a bit. Can't seem to get enough traction to bully that box aside. Now he's just standing there. Here comes Skewer Rat at the far end of the jump. He's wedged the spike under the floor again. He's spinning his wheels. We got ourselves a smoker. The team for Skewer Rat desperately working the controls. There you can see a close-up of the pyrotechnics. God, I love my job. Metalmorphis still at the box. He delivers a hard hit and drives the box out of the way. He's got the open lane. He moves in. 15 points. 3 obstacles to go, but time is running down.
Skewer Rat is still moving, Amit, but that smoke may be an indication that he's lost control of his weapon.
Looks like he's lost control of his steering there, Dan. Metalmorphis goes back through the doors. If he can make it, that is. Red Rat's waiting for him. Looks like he's just going to wait at the exit. He knows he's got enough points to win this. Skewer Rat is still stuck on the jump. The rats don't even seem to be able to help him out this time. He's trying to turn. Here comes the black rat into his side. Oh, and it jars him loose right back onto the floor. But that skewer is giving him such problems. Skewer Rat's drivers must be beside themselves. The rats are nibbling at him now. Metalmorphis waits patiently. And there's the siren. Metalmorphis finds the gates, almost flips over backwards. Tries again. He's going to need a running start at this, and the rats will never let that be this easy. He's turning around. Dan Fetterly anxious to end this. He's in position. Up and over. Metalmorphis is through the gates. But he can't quite break the glass. He's hung up on the gate there. And he does it. He does it. Metalmorphis takes the bonus pain. The Labyrinth is over. Dan and his team are pumped. Moving on to the fight to the finish.
Amit, Skewer Rat's super sharp weapon did more damage to the Labyrinth itself than to his opponent. This allowed Metalmorphis to pick his obstacles carefully and win.
And Metalmorphis takes it again. Yeah. Here are the scores. It's Metalmorphis with 90 points over Skewer Rat with 0. All right, let's check in with Tanya, who's down with the winner.
All right, and here we have Team USA, Mr. Dan Fetterly. How you feeling?
Fine. His frog hair split 4 ways. If it felt any better, I'd hurt.
All right, well, let's talk about the amazing ending. this close to the glass. And were you ever scared at one point that you weren't going to be able to crack the glass?
Yeah, from where I was at, I couldn't see what I was lining up against. And Les
Les
was yelling, "You're hitting the wall! You're hitting the wall!" I said, "Okay, let me run over there and look."
Sight lines are important in this game as well as driving a Miller.
All right, well, do you have any modifications for the fight to the finish? What can we
it's going to
expect?
be a very different robot. That's why we call it Metalmorphis.
You going to give us any hints on what secrets you're going to show us?
Well, beware of the spinning drums of doom.
Okay, the spinning drums of doom coming up, right, with Metalmorphis.
When we come back, Armourgeddon and Metalmorphis go head-to-head in an all-out battle. And don't get better than this, Robotica. Coming up, it's going to be a fight to the finish for the history books. This is it, the battle you'll tell your grandparents about, because they don't understand robots. Am I right? Robots are cool. You don't have to tell me twice. Robotica. Robotica is back in a timely fashion as promised. And as we saw tonight, Brute Force got Metalmorphis past his opponent in the Gauntlet, but it was dexterity that won him the Labyrinth.
Control and strategy scored Armourgeddon such a huge win in the Gauntlet that it took little Labyrinth work to seal the victory.
Metalmorphis came through the Labyrinth virtually unscathed, but Dan Fetterly's team still had a lot of work to do in the pits. Their concern was not repair, but reconfiguration.
So you're going to take all the extraneous parts off?
Say goodbye to that elaborate undercarriage. Metalmorphis will switch to a low-profile design and a spinning drum weapon with embedded steel bars. Armourgeddon, meanwhile, had a lot of trouble in the Labyrinth and had some major repairs to make.
Pulled the tread on this one. We threw the chain on this one, and this one. And it smells like we burnt two Victors, which are the controllers.
Armourgeddon has a long way to go just to be functional again. With limited pit time available, I have to believe this gives a major edge to Metalmorphis.
And the fight to the finish is right around the corner. From four mighty robots to the two strongest of the bunch, it's time to separate the cream from the rest of the crop. And to do that, we'll put them in our fight to the finish platform and let them battle it out. Our two sacrifices will enter the ring and battle for 1 minute. After that minute is history, the safety gauge will drop, bringing those spikes that much closer. One robot will belly flop off the side, and the other will roll right into the finals. They're ready, we're ready, you're ready, let's get it on. And there they are. Jason Giddings and Dan Fetterly are up in the skybox, looking down on their creations as they enter the field of battle. Imagine the pressure that they're under. Here comes Armourgeddon. He's donned that red armor to protect him in this battle. And there's Metalmorphis. He switched from a four-wheel to a lowrider configuration. And check out those spinning drums in the front. Both had very impressive wins getting to this point, but they've made big changes in the pits, and they're now both very different robots. It's the fight to the finish. Let's see what happens.
Robots ready.
Armourgeddon charges across and plows right under Metalmorphis. Oh, he's just pushing him around. Metalmorphis stuck in one corner right now, and Armourgeddon pulled free. Metalmorphis tries to attack, but it looks like his spinning drums, they're not moving. Armourgeddon moves away. Metalmorphis can't find a way to attack the armor of Armourgeddon. He's one tough bot. Climbs up beside those spinning drums are just sitting on the floor, dead to the world. Armourgeddon has Metalmorphis high centered, just biding his time until those gates come down, but he's free. He pulls away. Metalmorphis regains his wheels. He's turning around. Will he get that weapon working? More importantly, will it even matter? He just glances off Armourgeddon's shell. Armourgeddon taking control now. Metalmorphis doing everything he can to find a chink in that armor, but nothing to do it. Armourgeddon moves away and repositions. Metalmorphis gives chase. Still unable to do harm. Armourgeddon leaves debris on the platform. Another clash, and there go the gates, and there goes Metalmorphis! Armourgeddon has done it. Jason Giddings, the man of the hour. His teammates gives him a little something, and Dan Fetterly, ever the great sportsman, offers congratulations. Metalmorphis, a great ride, but ultimately not enough. Armourgeddon wins the fight to the finish. He's on his way to the finals. Oh, yeah!
Armourgeddon had the lower profile here and could get under Metalmorphis. And without that spinning drum working, Metalmorphis never had a chance.
I'm here with Jason Giddings and Team Armourgeddon. Great battle, great day. Are you jazzed?
We're amped. This is great.
Now, look, you have the tire tread that fell off. I mean, there were the battle scars.
We had a hard time. Our weapon, first off, we had some air leaks, and we couldn't use our weapon, so we came into this hurt, and our tire tread came off, and I thought we were in bad shape. But we ended up in the right spot when the gates dropped. It was great.
Okay, now you had a black robot before, and now all of a sudden you're shiny and red, looking demonic. What was the deal with that? Was that some special weapon or some armor?
It's just a shroud. It goes over the outside of it to give it real low clearance so nobody can really get under us.
Now, the shape of your robot, do you think that was, did it help you in the battle or did it hurt you?
Absolutely helped us. We couldn't get a surface to push on. That was our greatest advantage.
I'm so happy for you guys. Congratulations. I'll see you at the finals. You guys rule.
Thank you.
Armourgeddon. The Robotica finals are coming up, and 6 of the mightiest robots of the season will soon face each other as enemies. Robotica will choose her champion. Until then, for Tanya Memi, Dan Danknick, and myself, Amit Zappa, goodbye. And remember, Robotica will always be with you. Always.
This week on Junkyard Wars, we're taking it to the streets as the teams crank up the conveyors and hook up the hoses to construct junkyard street cleaners. Junkyard Wars Street Cleaners, tonight at 9, only on TLC.
Next Wednesday at 8, 4 more rolling renegades will take on the TLC Robot Arena and see who survives to fight to the finish. Get ready for an all-new episode of Robotica next Wednesday at 8, only on TLC.